Greg, your thoughts on the match?
Happy to get the 3 points. It was, they don't always look exactly like you want them to look. Not everything comes off exactly. Obviously, with a couple different injuries throughout the course of the game, the changes, maybe some substitution ideas, plus bringing on guys really early doesn't give you the fresh legs at the end of the game that help you to close things out or to pick up the extra goal there at the end. But I was proud of the guys. They dug deep, and I haven't been around this club for a long time, but I said to them, I'm gonna assume that in the past this is a game that this club either lost or drew, and in an important moment like this where we needed the 3 points to separate ourselves from a group that is chasing us, they dug deep and they pulled out the 3 points in a critical moment. So I'm proud of them for that.
What about the injuries on Giroux and Jamico?
Giroux is it's ankle. Doesn't appear to be too serious. He kind of stepped on the ball at the same time he went into the challenge and just rolled it a little bit. Danny was a heel issue, and Sebastian was some soreness in his adductor. And we'd been treating it a little bit over the course of the week, and he started feeling it progress a little bit in the game, and so it was. There's two ways. One is to get him off and not let it progress, and the other is obviously just to protect him, And so he's still going to travel to Italy, and they will assess him when they get there, and he'll make a professional decision when he gets there.
Greg, things seemed to change when Altidore came on. Do you think he gave the Montreal defense something else to think about? Did you see a change when he came on?
Yeah, he's definitely a different look than playing Sebastian. If he's the lone guy, I thought Josie played big and strong and physical and really held his ground, held up balls well for us. I thought he did a great job today of making multiple runs, as was the case sort of when he scored the goal. He wasn't the initial pass, but he kept his runs going, and that was something that that we've been looking for from him, and he was excellent. He got out of one space and into a new space and got himself in front of goal and got a goal. But yeah, I thought he came on and became a big target for us, and he became a handful for them defensively, which then frees up other guys as well. So we would have liked to have seen Sebastian and Josie together for a little bit longer out there, but it wasn't to be for today.
It was a bit odd that it took a while for Altidore to get on. It was like 2 minutes where you're playing with 10 men. Could he not have done, maybe it's a stupid question, could he not have done some of that running on the pitch?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of a catch-22 because he's had obviously the hamstring injuries in the past, and you want to make sure when you put him out there he's ready to go. So it's a tough one. I know it's getting him mentally and physically in the right place to get on the field as quickly as possible, and it was just one of those situations. But I think we held on. We did okay. You could tell the guys were frustrated. We were trying to speed up the process as much as we could, but they held off, and we got him on, and he performed. So all of that in the end is good.
Greg, how important is it to beat Montreal in this derby, and did you see any extra intensity from your players, or did they raise their game because it was a derby match?
Yeah, I mean, I think the derby is always important, but I think for us at this moment in time, it's the 3 points are the most important thing, and the fact that Montreal is behind us in the standings and keeping them behind us, taking the 3 points to again push closer to our objective, which is to first and foremost get ourselves in the playoffs, and then we will make a run at it once we get to the playoffs. So the derby just at the end adds a little spice, but I think for us our mentality was 100% around getting the 3 points out of this game, regardless of who the opponent was today.
Would you be surprised the league takes a second look at the Colin Warner challenge?
No, I mean I think they take a look at most yellow cards anyways. Colin's intent was to try to end the play to give us a chance to take a look at. I think it was Benoit who was down at the time. So it was an unfortunate situation. I think they'll look at it just given that it was a yellow card.
Is there any fear that Benoit or Danny might not be available for next week, or is it too early to tell?
Too early to tell. Too early to tell. I mean, initially I would say yes, but too early to tell really. We just don't want to lose players at this point, but we'll deal with it. Whatever happens, happens.
I'm sorry for Seba. You said he is going to Italy and
be
evaluated there.
Well, he'll go and he'll continue to do his protocols there, be evaluated also by their staff, but we'll be in contact with them as we have been leading up to this process anyway. So, but we're a part of that for sure. We're part of that process, but he's going to go there and he's going to be with their team, and we'll see whether he progresses and is able to play.
Greg, 15 wins has been the magic number to make the playoffs in the MLS, especially the Eastern Conference.
Mm-hmm.
You have 11 wins, which is the equivalent of last year. How do you intend to try to break that number? Do you have a feel for the team now in terms of your wit, in terms of your personnel?
Yeah, I mean, I think getting to 11 wins at this point in the season is a positive because we still have 9 more games and several of those at home, which are going to be important for us. I think the group is continuing to progress and getting a feel for these matches that are really important for us. And like I said, today was not how we would have drawn it up in terms of performances, but in terms of just work and digging down as a collective group and fighting to see out the 3 points is a moment where we can all take another big step forward. And so we just want to keep building momentum. That's how this league works. Obviously, we go next week to Seattle. It's a tough place to play, and we'll make decisions over the course of this week on really how to approach that one.
How many times did you change your shape? Is it difficult for players to change their mindset when you switch from a 4-2-3-1 into a 4-4-2 and you're playing with 10 men for a little while? How difficult is it to navigate that kind of chaos within a 90-minute game?
I mean, it's not an ideal situation. Obviously, when injuries take place, then sometimes you have to make some form of adjustment. But I think regardless of what shape we actually take up, the principles of what we're trying to do stay the same, and guys recognize that. Guys are, I think, fairly comfortable in both shapes, and I thought we were okay for larger stretches of the match, though we had our moments where we didn't handle things very well. And then at the end, we found ourselves under it a little bit, trying to see things out. But it's not an ideal situation. But to get certain people out there who we think are going to make a difference in the game, sometimes you have to make little adjustments. But it's not ideal.
Oso had another nice performance today, on both goals. How have you seen his progression this year?
Oso's been great. He worked incredibly hard in the offseason to get physically stronger, to get to peak fitness, and I think he's been very durable this year. And over the course of every game for 90 minutes, he's out there and he's competing. And you see, for me, I see his confidence growing within this group, and he plays a nice role because this group has the ability to pass the ball and move the ball, which is to his strengths. And he gets into very good spaces on the field, and he's pretty tidy now at getting on the turn and spinning guys and getting into good spots. And I think just like all the guys, but especially the younger guys like Oso, as they build confidence and they settle in within the team, then their performances really start to grow. And I think he's been great. I think he deserves a look at the national team, but maybe it's not to be this week.
9 points. You're 9 points clear now of the red line. Does it feel like you guys are solidly now in a good spot moving forward? You pretty much left and you're seeing the seats behind.
Yeah, I think we're in a positive position. I think now it's if we do what we're supposed to do, we're setting our eyes on the teams up in front of us and seeing how many of those guys we can catch and position ourselves as best as we possibly can coming into the postseason. I don't think our mindset is not looking behind us. We're going to try to keep improving on our performances and building our momentum as a team, because we all know in this league, as you hit this part of the year, it's about hitting your stride at the right time as you go into the playoffs. And for us, we want to position ourselves that where we get that home game, whichever game that is. We want to get the home games, and we want to play in front of our crowd and in front of this city, because we know it'll be a really exciting moment.
Greg, Giovinco's going away with Italy, so he's not going to factor in the next game. But how do you see he and Altidore working together in the games to come? Obviously, you don't want a designated player as a substitute.
No.
Do you see there's room for both of them, even the 4-2-3-1, that you could play Altidore slightly wide, or of course if you're in the diamond you can have Giovinco behind him? You feel that there are places for both of them on the pitch, and these last 2 weeks have just been kind of a certain set of circumstances from where Altidore's been coming from?
Yeah, we absolutely know that to get to where we really want to be, they should both be on the field. Today when we initially brought Josie on in the first half, we we put him up front and we switched to a 4-4-2. However, as we came out at halftime, we went back to the 4-2-3-1, and Josie was a little bit more on the left side, and it was only because Sebastian couldn't continue that we rotated and pushed Josie back up into the middle. But I even saw a couple moments in that stretch where they combined with each other. They started playing off of each other, and for me, it's when it gets down to it, we'll have them both on the field. We need them both in not both, but getting Josie into maximum fitness, into 90 minutes fitness to do the work like he did today for 90 minutes to help us on both sides of the ball when necessary, and then they're a great duo. We've seen that through the course of the year. It's just a matter of getting everybody in form and then putting the pieces together.
And Javinko has proved he's a tough customer, but you don't have any fears that there may be some breakdown with the persistent foot and now the adductor you're talking about?
Yes and no. I mean, he's a tough guy. As we get ourselves into the right positions as we move forward and we accumulate some points, then we can start to make some good decisions on guys in terms of whether we want to rest a guy here or there as we prepare ourselves for the final stretch. But as it is for now, we'll see what, for him in particular, we'll see what this injury entails and how we can manage him with that and hopefully get him back into full form. But today was an important win because it helps us to maybe position ourselves to make some of those decisions along the road.
And Greg, just to elaborate on Seba, in the 50 minutes that he did play, how do you assess his movement during the game? He was influential in the first goal.
His movement is always good. It's always better when we have possession of the ball, and we were having some breakdowns in terms of getting ourselves from back to the front and in good spots, or getting into midfield into good spots where we were just not sharp enough. So if the game becomes one where we're trying to find Seba on the run behind the back line, or where he's having to compete with central defenders all the time for balls, it's never going to really play into his hands, though he'll find his moments here and there. But when we're moving the ball well and we can find midfielders who are facing forward and he can pull off of defenders and get into the wide spaces or get in between lines, then you really see his movement shine. And today we weren't our best with the ball, and so his moments are hit and miss, right? They're not as consistent as they are when we're good with the ball as a team.